Me, I get the Patriots and I get the Rams in the Super Bowl. Somebody upstairs is taking care of me. One of them's favored and should be. We'll look back at two unbelievable football games, and the refs did not decide either. That's coming up.
All right, Colin, thanks. Time for our final topic of the day. Tom Brady didn't shake hands with Patrick Mahomes after the Patriots win yesterday, but Brady reportedly went up to a security guard outside the Chiefs' locker room after the game and asked to talk to Mahomes. The two quarterbacks apparently then had a brief conversation. Shannon, does it surprise you that Brady would do this?
Yes, because he's never done this before, and I understand that, you know, he wanted to whisper some words of encouragement to Patrick Mahomes, understanding that he's a very talented young player. And he's like, he says, I've been here. These games really, really hurt because you're one step away from reaching your ultimate goal. But I'm a little surprised because I don't think he's ever done this before.
I don't think so either.
So
not like this.
That's why I'm surprised, but I do understand. It's so chaotic. Everybody's rushing on the field. And for the most part, Skip, a lot of times, if you just lost this game at home, you ain't trying to stick around and shake nobody's hand. I'm trying to get the hell up out of here.
Yep. Remember, he took heat after the Super Bowl last year for not shaking Foles' hand.
Yes.
Oh, true.
And in this case, I was also surprised and impressed that he went out of his way not to do it for the cameras on the field. He wanted to go talk to that kid face to face, and it didn't last very long.
Right.
But I think that's how impressed Tom Brady was with your man, Patrick Mahomes.
Yes.
He wanted to tell him to his face. That was highly impressive.
I thought it was a very nice move. Like you said, it's out of the reach of the cameras. I'm sure he probably would have wished it hadn't have gotten out, but it did. Nothing, I mean, it's hard for you to do as a player to do anything that doesn't get out. Just like I'm sure he didn't want I'm a bad mofo to get out either, but someone heard it, and that's going to be news, and anything Tom Brady does is going to be news. But I thought this was a nice
suggestion. You saw that kid
gesture.
make some throws that he is not capable of making. He wanted to tell him, way to go, kid.
Keep your head up.
Says a lot about his character. All right. Well, that was a fun show, guys. That is it for us. We'll be back tomorrow morning, 9:30 Eastern. Right now, Colin's going to tell you why the smarter team always wins in the NFL. The herd starts right now.
No mercy, and I won't back down. Undisputed.
Here we go. Patriot Rams Super Bowl on a Monday. This is The Herd. Wherever you may be and however you may be listening, we are live in sunny now again Los Angeles on iHeartRadio, Fox Sports Radio, and right here on FS1. Joy Taylor is joining me. Colin right, Colin wrong, 1 hour from now. I am not overly religious, but I will say somebody upstairs is taking care of me. Patriots, Rams, the local team. When I was in Connecticut for 10 years, I watched every snap. The local team in Los Angeles, I watched.
You're the one who's responsible for this.
Wow.
I see.
I'm not going to lie. This is an amazing Monday. Thank you so much for stopping by. We are packed today. Trent Dilfer, Josh Norman, Michael Vick, Eric Dickerson. Let me start with this. Football is complicated in its design. But when a game unfolds, it's rather simple. You prepare for 7 days if you get a bye 14, and it's about imposing your will. I'm going to plan for 7 days to do things and impose my will on you. And if I plan to do things and I can do more things than you can do, also preparing to impose your will, I win. It usually in a close football game, I could do some things, you could do some things, I couldn't do some things, you couldn't do some things. So let's, in review, look at Kansas City. Here's what Kansas City likes to do and prepared to do. We're going to get the ball to Tyreek Hill, fastest guy in the league. He had one catch. One catch. We're going to get the ball to the best tight end in football, Travis Kelce. He had 23 total yards. We are going to pressure Tom Brady. We led the NFL in sacks. D. Ford, Chris Jones, Justin Houston. They almost didn't even pressure Tom. There were no sacks. We're going to get the ball to Patrick Mahomes. The key to this game is keep the ball in his hand and away from Brady. Oh, he had the ball for 8 minutes in the first half. Oh, by the way, no mental errors. No mental errors. No, Kansas City had the biggest mental error of the NFL season. D. Ford lined up offsides. Does it sound like to you that Kansas City was able to do what they planned for a week? Hell, folks, they couldn't do anything they planned to do. Tyreek Hill, 1 catch. Travis Kelce, 23 yards. D Ford, Chris Jones, Houston, no pressures. The mental error. Mahomes never had the ball for the first 2 hours. So now let's look at what New England prepared to do all week, what New England wanted to do. New England said a week ago, we want to get the ball to Edelman. He had 7 catches for almost 100 yards. We want to make sure Gronk plays a role. 6 catches, biggest play of the game, arguably. We want to run the ball against Kansas City, take it away from Mahomes. He had over 100 yards. We want to be great on 3rd down to keep it away from Mahomes. 13 for 19. We want to protect Tom Brady. He was rarely touched. And we want to make sure it's a ball control time of possession game. It was the most lopsided in league history. Everything Kansas City prepared to do, they could do none of it. And everything New England planned to do, they did virtually all of it. The only surprising thing is this game went to overtime. Look at the box score. If I handed you a box score in Kansas City this morning and said, before the game, New England will have 36 first downs, you'll have 18. They'll have 525 yards, you'll have less than 300. They'll have the ball for 44 minutes, you'll have it for 20. That's the most lopsided overtime game of my life. Folks, football is complicated in its design. I could give you a playbook and you couldn't figure out a play in it. But how a game unfolds is always very simple. I prepare to do several things. So do you. It's usually split right down the middle in an overtime game. This was never close. Last week I said something on Friday, and I got a lot of pushback on this. I said the Bills, the Jets, and the Dolphins aren't dysfunctional. If you take away their games against the Patriots for 18 years, they're 500 teams. New England simply makes them twice a year look dysfunctional. Let me ask you, what did the Chargers look like last week against New England? New England with an extra week to prepare? Dysfunctional. What did the Chiefs look like when the Patriots got a second shot this year at them? Offensively dysfunctional. That's what great teams do, and it's what the Patriots do better than anybody in league history. Try being the Jets, Bills, and Dolphins, Kansas City, and facing them 2 times a year for 18 years. They take stuff away. Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, Patrick Mahomes. They take stuff away. Chargers look unprepared. Kansas City looked like offensively they didn't practice. The entire NFL has gone to the vertical passing game, mobile quarterbacks and star receivers. New England has never, ever run the ball more. In fact, their wide receivers become backs. Their backs become wide receivers. Let's just be honest. They're sharper, smarter, and cagier than your team. Perfect? No. Brady had a bad red zone pick. Nobody's perfect. The NFL's too fast. There's too many good athletes. But they continue to be one step ahead of the league. Ask yourself, would you rather be great in September or now? And I want everybody to just think about this. What is the day that you thought this year New England was the best team in the AFC? This year started in 2018. What was the day? The day is today. Mid to late January 2019. Let me add this about New England because, this is the way the world works. When you lose, you got to blame somebody. The pass play to Gronkowski, which gave the Patriots a first down at the Chiefs' 15 in overtime, was not in the game plan. Peter King reported this morning the Patriots put in 8 new plays in the hotel lobby before the game. Unheard of. 8 new plays. They used 5. All 5 worked. That is unheard of. In the Westin Crown Center in Kansas City, the offensive players for the Patriots were greeted at 11 in the morning. 8 new plays. That is unheard of in any game. They used 5. They all worked. Blame who you want. They're sharper, craftier, smarter than everybody else. Let's shift to the Rams' exciting win in overtime 2 over the Saints. This morning, I see a lot of blame, and that is America, right? When you're not successful, blame your ex-wife, blame your kids, blame the president, blame your boss. This became the blame the refs game. New Orleans had 50 yards rushing at home. That's it. They settled for 2 field goals early when the Rams, after 2 possessions, had more turnovers won than first downs. The Saints averaged 4.5 yards a play, easily the lowest and weakest of the final 4 teams. Todd Gurley got benched, the best offensive player for the Rams, and Sean Payton inexplicably passed the ball instead of running it late to eat the clock. I still don't know what he was thinking. But hey, it's the refs. Yes, it's the refs. You do realize why I picked the Rams. Drew Brees in his first 11 games had 29 touchdowns and 2 picks and a passer rating of 127. But Drew Brees' last 6 games, he's had 7 touchdowns, 5 picks, and a passer rating of 8.